Once upon a time, in a magical land called Floravia, there lived a princess with a very special gift. Her name was Princess Aloan. She was not an ordinary princess. She carried within her the power of 1,000 flowers. Wherever she walked, flowers bloomed. Wherever she smiled, petals danced in the air. The kingdom was filled with colors because of her. The people loved her deeply. They called her the Flower Princess. Aloan grew up surrounded by gardens. She spent most of her time among flowers. She spoke to them as if they were alive. And somehow, they answered her. The roses whispered secrets. The lilies sang soft songs. The sunflowers greeted her every morning. Aloan felt at peace with nature. But she did not know the full truth of her powers. Her mother, the queen, kept it hidden. The power she carried was ancient and dangerous. It came from the spirit of nature. Long ago, this power saved the world. But it also nearly destroyed it. Only a pure heart could control it. Aloan was that chosen one. One day, a dark shadow appeared. The skies turned gray. The flowers began to wilt. The air felt heavy and cold. A dark sorcerer had returned. His name was Morvain. He sought ultimate power. He wanted the magic of the 1,000 flowers. He believed it belonged to him. His army marched toward Floravia. Fear spread across the kingdom. Villages were destroyed. Forests turned to ash. Rivers dried up. The king prepared for war. Aloan felt something change inside her. Her heart felt heavy. The flowers whispered louder than ever. They told her danger was near. She went to her mother. She demanded the truth. The queen finally revealed everything. Aloan was shocked. She was afraid. But she knew she must be brave. She decided to protect her kingdom. The royal elders trained her. She learned to control vines. She learned to summon petals. She learned to heal wounds. But controlling her power was difficult. It was too strong. It felt like a storm inside her. Meanwhile, Morvain grew stronger. He captured magical creatures. He drained their energy. He became more powerful. He moved closer to the castle. Aloan could feel his darkness. It was like poison in the air. One night, she had a vision. She saw a battlefield. She saw herself alone. She saw light and darkness clashing. She knew the final battle was coming. The next day, she prepared herself. She wore armor made of vines and petals. Her crown glowed with flowers. She looked like a goddess of nature. The people gathered to see her. They cheered for her. She gave them hope. She rode out to face Morvain. The land bloomed under her path. Flowers followed her like a trail of light. Morvain waited at the battlefield. He smiled with darkness. He mocked her. He said she was weak. Aloan stood strong. She called upon her power. Vines rose from the ground. Petals swirled in the sky. The battle began. Morvain attacked with shadows. Aloan defended with light. The sky filled with magic. The earth trembled. Aloan struggled to control her power. It was overwhelming. She almost lost balance. But she remembered her training. She focused her heart. She listened to the flowers. They guided her. She stood firm. She raised her hands. A bright light burst forth. It pushed back the darkness. Morvain became angry. He attacked harder. Aloan fell to the ground. She was weak. The flowers began to fade. But then they spoke again. They gave her strength. They reminded her of love. Of hope. Of life. Aloan stood again. Her power grew stronger. She embraced her destiny. She became one with nature. Her body glowed with light. Flowers covered the battlefield. Light pushed back darkness. Morvain screamed in anger. He could not control her power. Alolan summoned a great bloom. A flower of pure energy. It shined like the sun. It pulsed with life. She released it. It struck Morvain. His darkness vanished. He was defeated. The battle ended. The skies cleared. The land healed. The flowers bloomed again. The people celebrated. Alolan collapsed. She was exhausted. The flowers carried her home. She rested for many days. When she woke, peace had returned. The kingdom was safe again. Alolan smiled gently. She had become a true guardian. She ruled with kindness. She listened to nature always. The kingdom prospered. The people lived happily. Flowers bloomed everywhere. Her legend spread across lands. Years passed peacefully in Floravia. Alolan grew wiser with time. She spent her days helping her people. She healed the sick with flower magic. She restored broken lands. She brought life wherever she went. Children loved her stories. Elders respected her wisdom. The kingdom became stronger than ever. But deep within, Alolan felt something. A quiet whisper of unease. The flowers sometimes trembled. As if warning her of something. She listened carefully. But the warning was unclear. One evening, a strange wind blew. The sky turned purple. The flowers bent low to the ground. Alolan felt the magic shift. She knew something was coming. A new danger. A hidden darkness. She stood at the palace balcony. Watching the horizon. The wind carried a faint voice. A voice she did not recognize. It whispered her name. Alolan closed her eyes. She reached out with her magic. The flowers responded instantly. They showed her a vision. A distant land beyond the mountains. A place filled with shadows. A new enemy rising. Alolan opened her eyes. She knew her journey was not over. She had saved her kingdom. But the world still needed her. She prepared for another adventure. Stronger than ever before. Braver than ever before. With the power of 1,000 flowers. She stepped forward into destiny. The wind carried petals around her. The flowers whispered proudly. Their princess was ready again. Ready to protect life. Ready to face darkness. Ready to bloom against all odds. And so her story continued. Cherry blossom sparkles. Alolan began her journey beyond the mountains. The path was unknown and dangerous. The flowers guided her every step. Their whispers became her map. The air felt different in this new land. It was heavy with dark magic. Trees stood twisted and lifeless. Rivers moved slowly like shadows. Alolan stayed brave. She called small flowers to bloom beside her. They brought light into the darkness. After days of travel, she reached a silent valley. The valley was covered in black thorns. No life could be seen. Suddenly, a voice echoed. You should not be here. Alolan looked around. A shadow figure appeared. It was a dark spirit named Virex. He guarded the valley. Virex laughed coldly. He challenged Alolan. Alolan stood firm. She summoned her flower magic. Bright petals filled the air. Virex attacked with sharp shadows. The battle was fierce. Alolan used vines to block him. The ground shook violently. Alolan realized this was only a test. She focused her energy. She created a glowing flower shield. The shadows broke against it. Virex stepped back. He smiled strangely. You are stronger than I thought. He vanished into darkness. The valley slowly changed. Small flowers began to grow. Alolan continued forward. She climbed rocky hills. She crossed frozen rivers. She entered ancient forests. Each place tested her strength. Each place taught her something new. Her powers grew deeper. She learned to control storms of petals. She learned to create life instantly. She became more confident. But the darkness ahead was still growing. One night, she reached a hidden temple. The temple was ancient and glowing faintly. Flowers surrounded its entrance. But they were asleep. Alolan stepped inside carefully. A soft voice welcomed her. It was the spirit of nature. The same spirit that gave her power. It appeared as a glowing figure. Alolan bowed respectfully. The spirit spoke gently. Your journey is not complete. A greater darkness rises. Alolan listened carefully. There is a king of shadows. His name is Noctira. He seeks to destroy all life. Alolan felt fear again. But she stayed strong. How can I stop him? She asked. The spirit smiled softly. You must awaken the eternal bloom. It is the source of all life. Only you can find it. The temple glowed brightly. A path appeared before her. Alolan thanked the spirit. She stepped onto the glowing path. Her journey continued. Her destiny called her forward. The path led her to a magical forest. This forest was alive with energy. Trees glowed softly. Flowers shimmered in the air. Alolan felt peace again. But she knew danger was near. Suddenly, the ground trembled. A giant creature appeared. It was made of roots and stone. It guarded the eternal bloom. The creature roared loudly. It attacked without warning. Alolan dodged quickly. She summoned vines to hold it back. The creature broke free easily. Alolan realized brute force would not work. She closed her eyes. She listened to the forest. The trees whispered a secret. The creature was not an enemy. It was a guardian. It was testing her heart. Alolan lowered her power. She stepped forward calmly. She placed her hand on the ground. Flowers bloomed gently. The creature stopped. It looked at her closely. It sensed her purity. Slowly, it stepped aside. The path opened. Alolan walked forward. At the center stood the eternal bloom. It was the most beautiful flower ever seen. It glowed like 1,000 suns. It pulsed with life energy. Alolan approached it slowly. She felt its power calling her. She reached out her hand. The flower merged with her. A bright light filled the forest. Alolan felt her power grow endlessly. She became the true guardian of life. But at that moment, darkness struck. The sky turned black instantly. A deep voice echoed. Too late, princess. Noctira had arrived. He appeared as a massive shadow. His eyes burned like fire. Alolan stood strong. She faced the Shadow King. The final battle began. Noctira unleashed endless darkness. Alolan answered with pure light. Flowers exploded across the battlefield. The sky split with energy. The ground shook violently. Alolan pushed forward bravely. But Noctira was powerful. He struck her with shadow waves. She fell but stood again. She refused to give up. She remembered her people. She remembered her kingdom. She remembered hope. Her power surged again. She called upon the eternal bloom. A massive flower of light appeared. It shined brighter than ever before. Noctira tried to stop it. But the light was too strong. Alolan released all her power. The flower expanded across the sky. It covered the entire battlefield. Darkness began to fade. Noctira screamed in rage. His power weakened. The light consumed him completely. He vanished forever. Silence filled the world. The darkness was gone. The sky turned blue again. Flowers bloomed everywhere. Life returned to the land. Alolan fell to her knees. She was exhausted but victorious. The forest cheered with life. The wind carried petals around her. She smiled softly. She returned to Floravia. The people welcomed her with joy. The kingdom celebrated her victory. She had saved not just her land, but the entire world. Alolan became a legend. A guardian of nature forever. Her story was told for generations. Flowers always bloomed in her honor. Her power remained pure. Years passed peacefully again. Alolan ruled with wisdom. She protected nature always. She taught others to respect life. The kingdom flourished beautifully. Children grew up hearing her story. They dreamed of courage. They believed in hope. And they loved the flowers deeply. Alolan never forgot her journey. She often walked in her gardens, listening to the flowers. They still whispered to her. They still guided her. She smiled every time. Because she knew one truth. As long as there is life, there will always be hope. And as long as flowers bloom, light will never fade. Alolan stood under the sunrise. Petals danced in the golden light. The wind carried their song. It was a song of life. A song of victory. A song of love. And Alolan listened with peace. Her journey had shaped her. Her heart had grown stronger. Her spirit had become eternal. She was no longer just a princess. She was the soul of nature. The guardian of all life. The keeper of the eternal bloom. Her story would never end. Because life itself never ends. It only grows. It only blooms. It only shines brighter. Just like her. And so, the princess of 1,000 flowers lived on. Not just in her kingdom, but in every flower that bloomed. In every petal that fell. In every breeze that whispered softly. She became part of the world itself. A symbol of hope. A symbol of courage. A symbol of life. Forever remembered. The gardens of Floravia never faded again. The rivers flowed endlessly. The sky stayed bright and clear. The land remained full of life. And the flowers always bloomed brighter. As if they remembered her. As if they honored her. As if they were her. And maybe, they truly were. Because Alolan's spirit lived in them. In every bloom. In every color. In every fragrance. She became eternal. Just like the flowers. Just like life itself. Endless. Beautiful. Alive. And so the story ends. But the legend continues. Wherever flowers bloom. Wherever hope rises. Wherever light shines. There lives the princess. The princess of 1,000 flowers. Guardian of life. Protector of hope. And symbol of eternal beauty. Her name will never be forgotten. Her story will always be told. Her power will always remain. In every heart that believes. In every soul that hopes. In every dream that blooms. She lives on forever. Like a flower in spring. Like light in darkness. Like hope in despair. And that is her true magic. Not just power. But love. Not just strength. But kindness. Not just magic. But life itself. And that is why she is remembered. Not as a ruler. But as a legend. A legend of flowers. A legend of light. A legend of hope. A legend of courage. A legend of life. Forever blooming. Forever shining. Forever alive. Forever remembered. forever loved. And so the tale of Princess Aloan lives on. In every garden. In every story. In every heart. A reminder that even in darkness, life can bloom again. Hope can rise again. And light can shine again. Always. Forever. Cherry blossom sparkles.